Ever pondered a world where women are physically stronger than men? Now let's dive into this hypothetical scenario. A parallel universe where women are naturally more muscular and robust than men. What would be the biological implications of such a shift? In this alternate reality, women's physiology could have evolved differently due to unique evolutionary pressures. Perhaps higher levels of testosterone or other growth factors which contribute to muscle development and bone density are more prevalent in women. A fascinating question arises: how might this affect their roles in reproduction? With their increased strength, women could take on tasks requiring more physical exertion, potentially shifting the division of labor during the child-rearing years. Now let's consider the societal implications. In our world, physical strength is often associated with certain roles typically occupied by men. But in this alternate universe, could we see a shift? Women, with their superior physical strength, might naturally step into roles in construction, the military, and law enforcement. This shift in physical dynamics could prompt a re-evaluation of gender norms. Could characteristics such as assertiveness and leadership become more culturally associated with women? And what about cultural changes? In the world of sports, women might outshine men in strength-based competitions like weightlifting and wrestling. The media landscape could also shift, with heroines in film and literature setting the standard for physical prowess. Even fashion could evolve to emphasize muscular physiques, with beauty standards celebrating strength. This thought experiment isn't just about imagining a world where women are physically stronger than men, it's also about exploring the ethical considerations of such a shift. Would society place greater value on physical strength, or would there be a push towards recognizing diverse forms of strength, including emotional and intellectual? And how would we ensure that this power isn't abused? Imagine a world where women's physical strength surpasses men's. What changes would we see? As we move forward, let's keep this hypothetical scenario in mind, reflecting on the arbitrary nature of gender roles and the importance of valuing individuals for their character and abilities, not just their physical attributes. In this strength-flipped world, societal norms would be challenged. Imagine walking into a bustling construction site and instead of burly men carrying heavy loads, it's women. Broad-shouldered, powerful women leading the teams, operating the cranes, laying the bricks. The same goes for the military. Women on the front lines, strategizing, leading troops into battle. And law enforcement, you guessed it, women patrolling our streets, keeping neighborhoods safe. This isn't just about jobs requiring brute strength, it's about leadership, it's about decision-making. It's about being assertive and not being questioned for it. In this world, these traits aren't just accepted in women, they are expected. But let's push this even further. What if the roles of parenthood were also reimagined? The narrative of the stay-at-home dad would be the norm, rather than the exception. Men nurturing, caring and raising the next generation, while women, with their superior strength, take on the physically demanding tasks. However, it's not just about swapping roles, it's about challenging the very foundation of societal norms. It's about questioning the association of physical strength with masculinity and fragility with femininity. It's about breaking down the barriers that confine us to stereotypical gender roles. But what happens to the men in this world? Would they feel threatened, or would they adapt? Would society value their emotional intelligence, creativity, or intellectual prowess over physical strength? Would they be given the freedom to express their emotions without being labeled weak or less than? And what about women? Would they carry the burden of strength with grace, or would it become another expectation, another standard they are held to? Would their leadership be respected or resented? These questions are not easy to answer. The dynamics of such a world would be complex, filled with both challenges and opportunities. But one thing is for sure, the societal norms as we know them would be profoundly challenged. How would society adapt to these new norms? That's something for us to ponder as we delve deeper into the implications of this strength-flipped world. Cultural shifts would follow this physical reversal. In this world, you'd see a transformation in many areas, but let's focus on three main ones: sports, media representation, and fashion. Imagine sports in this parallel universe. The most celebrated athletes might be women, dominating fields that in our reality are often male-centric. Weightlifting, wrestling, and other strength-based competitions could become female-dominated arenas. The thrill of the crowd as a woman breaks another world record in powerlifting, the cheers echoing as a female rugby team scores the winning try. It's a reimagining of the competitive landscape. Now think about media representation. Our current world is no stranger to strong female characters, but in this alternate reality they would be the standard, not the exception. Films and literature would feature heroines celebrated for their physical prowess. The damsel in distress trope, that's ancient history. Instead, action films feature leading ladies saving the day and comic books sing tales of superwomen. The narrative of strength is rewritten with women at the helm. And what about fashion? The industry has always been a reflection of societal norms and values. In this world, fashion could evolve to celebrate and accentuate muscular physiques. The runway models strutting in New York, Paris, or Milan could be strong, athletic women, their muscles a symbol of beauty and elegance. The societal narrative that equates thinness with beauty could be replaced by one that equates strength with attractiveness. This shift could also lead to an evolution in everyday clothing trends. Form-fitting clothes designed to highlight muscular builds could become the norm. The fashion industry, always a reflection of the times, would adapt to this new definition of beauty. These cultural shifts would not just change the way we view strength, they'd change the way we view women and femininity. The associations we have with physical strength, with athleticism, with muscularity, they'd be flipped, rewritten, redefined. From sports to cinema, women would become the new standard of physical strength. It's a radical shift, a fascinating thought experiment, and a reminder of the power of societal constructs in shaping our perceptions and realities. This strength-flipped world also presents ethical dilemmas. Imagine a world where physical strength is revered above all other traits. That could lead to a society where the physically strongest are the most privileged, creating an imbalance of power. Would this mean that those who are not as physically strong are less valued, less respected, or even oppressed? In this hypothetical scenario, we must consider the potential for power dynamics to shift drastically. With physical strength as a central focus, it could become a key determinant of social status and personal worth. This could lead to a society where physical strength is not just an advantage, but a requirement for success and respect. But what about those who are not as physically strong? Would they be marginalized, or worse, victimized? The potential for abuse of power is a grave concern in any society, but it becomes even more pressing in a world where physical strength is the ultimate status symbol. In this strength-flipped world, it would be crucial to establish norms and laws that protect individuals from discrimination and violence. Safeguards would need to be put in place to ensure that those without physical strength are not disadvantaged or exploited. This would involve creating a culture that values all forms of strength, not just the physical. Emotional strength, intellectual strength, moral strength. These are all crucial aspects of what it means to be human, and they should be recognized and respected in any society. This thought experiment invites us to reflect on our own world. It reminds us that power dynamics are not set in stone, but are shaped by societal values and norms. It challenges us to question the status quo and to imagine a society where power is not just about physical strength, but about the strength of character, the strength of mind, and the strength of heart. In any world, the balance of power must be carefully maintained to ensure fairness and protect the vulnerable. This hypothetical scenario underscores the importance of creating a society that values all individuals, regardless of their physical strength, and that safeguards against the misuse of power. It challenges us to strive for a world that is not just physically strong, but emotionally, intellectually, and morally strong as well. This thought experiment, while hypothetical, holds a mirror to our own world. Suppose women were naturally stronger than men. It would fundamentally shift our biological, societal, and cultural paradigms. Women's physiology could evolve to be more muscular and robust, possibly affecting roles in reproduction and child-rearing. Greater physical strength might see women occupying roles traditionally held by men, prompting a revaluation of gender norms. In sports and media, women could become the standard for physical prowess, while fashion and beauty standards might evolve to celebrate strength. However, this scenario also raises ethical questions about equality and power dynamics. Would physical strength be valued above other traits? Would there be a push to recognize diverse forms of strength, including emotional and intellectual? In the end, it's not about physical strength, but the strength of character and abilities that truly define us.